Bob Long. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about how addiction can be looked at and why so many people relapse and why coming into treatment is an important part of recovery. So what I'm going to do is I want you to imagine that this is an ocean. It's blue, so it's kind of like water. And what we have, just pretend that's a iceberg, okay? About 10% of any iceberg is above the water, which I can do simple math. That means 90% is below the water. Most of us recognize the 10% of our addiction. We recognize that we have a problem, it causes family issues, we recognize that it has got us fired, it recognizes that we've got our third or fourth DUI, but sometimes we don't understand what's below the water in what we call the unconscious or subconscious part of the mind. We're consciously aware of this. So when we go to war against our addiction, and so the W in going to war is willpower, because that's the main tool that a lot of people like to use. And it's not enough. And that's after we have analyzed the problem. That's supposed to be a Z. And we've analyzed the problem. We said, yes, indeed, well, we do have a problem. I'm going to resolve never to drink again. I'm going to resolve never to do drugs again. Yes, I spelled it right. And so if you take the first letter of each of those, that's war. We're going to war with our addiction, but we're only able to fight the 10% that we see and that we're aware of. What does that mean? That usually means that when we get triggered, and many times when we get triggered, we're being triggered on an unconscious level that's part of the 90% we're not aware of. There's an acronym for this. It's HALT, H-A-L-T. And that sort of that represents certain words that can be triggers, like hungry. If you're hungry, never go shopping. You're going to load up with a lot of junk food. Angry. Many times, an addict will start a fight as an excuse to go back to their addiction. Lonely. Loneliness is a big one for a lot of folks. And tired. Many times we just don't make the best decisions when we're tired. If you're going to make a financial decision, sleep on it, make a good financial decision later. Now, what is below the water are the strategies that we have developed. I call it a SHIP, S-H-I-P. So we have S, come on, and that stands for strategies, S-T. And I'll give you an example of a strategy that I developed in the 8th grade here in a little bit. The H, because sometimes that strategy that we developed is going to turn into a habit. And if we continue to doing that, whatever that behavior is, long enough, it will become an impulse. And depending on what it is, we will have either physical or psychological problems with that. So I'm going to spell those two words if I can. Obviously my handwriting is not the best. So this is our SHIP, S-H-I-P-P, that takes the first letters of each one. So one of the strategies that I had in the 8th grade to deal with stress was to pop my knuckles, okay? And that became a habit. And then, so every time I was in a stressful situation, either at school or someplace else, I would pop my knuckles. it became impulsive when I recognized that Saturday morning I'm watching Bugs Bunny on TV, and I'm just popping my knuckles for no good reason. And physical and psychological, I don't think I have any psychological problems from that, but my mom would always say, stop popping your knuckles, you're going to have arthritis. And guess what? I have a little bit of arthritis in my hand, so I guess I'm wondering, was she correct? Let's take a different strategy. Maybe the strategy was drinking, okay? So that was a strategy to help us deal with stress in our lives, or maybe a social lubricant so that we could talk to other people a little bit more fluently. Or be around people and not let them irritate us so much. Pretty soon it becomes a habit, and if we keep drinking, it becomes an impulse, even when you don't need to be social. Physically, yes, there's going to be some withdrawal coming up later on in life. We see that all the time. Some of those withdrawals is nighttime sweats. Sometimes you start getting the tremors in the hand. If it progresses, sometimes you will start hearing things and seeing things. You know, they always talk about the pink elephant. Okay, well, guess what? That's a visual hallucination. I've seen other people say that they hear music, or I hear them say there's someone talking and calling their name. They turn around, there's no one there. So this is the physical and psychological part of the addiction. So what we need to do, this is what I call our ship that we jump into. So we have analyzed the problem, we resolved never to drink again. We're going to use willpower as our only tool to fight against the 10% that we're aware of. We're not aware of the other 90%. And then when we get triggered, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, we automatically jump back into our ship that's sinking. It's not working for us. And that's relapse. What we need to do is we need to develop a new strategy. We need to develop a new ship. And so AA and NA is out there. We stress 90 meetings in 90 days, because after 90 meetings in 90 days, maybe it becomes a habit. And then it may become impulsive. And then, and when you physically, you feel pretty good because you're in recovery, and psychologically, when you leave a meeting, you feel really good. My uncle, Uncle JB, he had a drinking problem. Very intelligent man, contracted with NASA, worked on the Hubble Space Telescope, lacked in common sense in a few areas of his life, such as automobiles. But anyway, we won't go into that. His strategy was certainly his AA meetings that kept him stabilized. Other people will start going to the gym, and that becomes a habit, and then when the gym is closed, they're going through a little gym withdrawal, but it becomes impulsive. Physically, when they leave the gym, they feel good. When they look in the mirror, psychologically, they feel good about themselves. So we're going to have to develop some other strategies and build another ship in order to keep us sober. All right. So I hope this makes sense. If you have liked the video, please like the video, log in, like the video, and then leave a comment on Facebook. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.